You know what? I thought I'd do something a little different today. White Knight is in with Tesla service to get the touchscreen replaced because there's a cosmetic issue with it. No big deal, it's under warranty. They gave me this loaner. This is a Cadillac XTS. So we're going to do a little review of this car. Now, first thing first, I know nothing about Cadillacs at all. Apparently they ran out of Tesla loaners. I've always gotten a Tesla loaner, except for that one time I got an Audi A4, but they gave me this thing. So cursory examination, you can see here it's a long sedan, has a big long trunk. I always find it funny how these companies name their cars. What kind of car do you got? I got an XTS. What is that? Oh, it's a Cadillac. Oh, you mean a Cadillac XTS. So that's kind of forcibly saying the name for branding and marketing purposes. That's kind of brilliant on their part. Let me just show you the key fob here. It's nothing really spectacular, just kind of basic. So if I press the unlock, I hear it unlock. Let's go. There we go. I got to push that. Whoop. Yeah. All right. So now the reason I wanted to do this review is because I've been driving a Tesla, my Model X, for a year now. So I thought it'd be kind of interesting to show you what a gas car looks like these days. So let's hop into this thing. I'll give you a little tour. The first thing I have to say is that when I first got into this thing, it was a little bit of a shock. Of course, driving a Tesla for some time, you get a little overwhelmed with all the buttons. So yeah, fit and finish is decent on this car. You can see that's semi-soft. This is a little bit hard. A lot of the trim work and stuff reminds me of the Tesla as it is right now. There's a parking brake button there. There's a little cubby here to put, coins, whatever. Some things I noticed was a little weird. I mean, they've tried to make use of some space in the car for putting things in. The buttons on the doors are kind of bog standard. There's nothing spectacular going on here. Steering wheel has a fair amount of, buttons. Of course, the placement's completely reverse of what I'm used to. So, I don't know. Oh, yes, they're ubiquitous on buttons. So there it goes. The car just started. Let's just show you here. So you got this partly digital dash, mostly analog gauges. Nothing really spectacular there. And then you've got, basic switch gear for your windshield wipers here. I guess that's not a button there. So, oh, you know what? I discovered something fun. So this is we're right here. Oh yeah. So this is there's a volume control. So I can turn that up or down. That's my audiobook playing. I'm just going to pause that. I'll get to this part here in a minute because it's kind of interesting. So over here you've got this arm rest where you've got some spot in here to put some stuff. It's not very deep. There is that's interesting. There's a 120 volt connector on the inside. It looks like another cigarette lighter connector. No sign of USB ports. No, not in there. And then they've got a couple cup holders here underneath this wood panel. Yeah, it works, I guess. There's another little cubby in here. A little spot in here for, cigarette lighter. A little spot for some coins, but not much else. It's kind of wasted space in my opinion. Gear shift lever. It is what it is. Now you got some other buttons over here. It took me a while to figure this out where the glove box was because it has more of a touch. If you can hear that, it's soft touch. The one thing about the entertainment system on this car in the HVAC controls is it's all capacitive. So there's no real physical buttons you're pushing. It's just, you can't hear it on the camera, but every time you push a button, it makes this little bzz. It's like a little haptic thing. I'm going to close this for a second. Right, the touch screen. Yeah, touch screen on this, it took me a little while to get used to. You've got things like your climate control, which are here in the screen, and then you have some replication here in some of the buttons, so you have up and down. And then over here you have heated seats, and it also has ventilated seats. Oh yeah, there it goes on my butt. All right, let's put that back to heated for now. By the way, this car, I checked the Canadian price on this as equipped. I think with this trim level, starts around $57,000. Is it a fair comparison with a Tesla? No, of course not. It's a different car, of course. This really threw me for a loop because I was touching some of these buttons and I discovered there's a little hidden thing right here, and if you just push on it, oh, you get this magic compartment. You've got this little cubby down in here. Now there's a USB port down at the bottom. By the way, this car also has CarPlay and Android Auto. So I think that's a USB port that you use to plug in your phone. But it appears that there's a wireless charging pad right in this area. The problem I find with the wireless charging pad is I can't seem to get it to work because my iPhone XS Max, which is a big one, doesn't sit in there. Let me just show you why I'm talking about that. If I just pull out the rubber mat, you'll see here that it's got this little spot where your phone is supposed to rest. Well, it's my phone's too big, I should say, rather than the tray here. So I wonder if I just take this out and I just put the phone in there. There's the chart. It looks like there's a charging pad right there. So if I just put that in there, I'm not seeing any activity on my phone. So I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's backwards. Let's try it the other way. Normally I'd hear a buzz or something, but it's not working. But there is something else about this little cubby that I find very interesting. This area is cool. There's little nubs in here, and somewhere in here, air conditioning is coming through. So it's a great place to put like a drink or sandwich or something. Let me just see if I can get the cooling to happen here. Let me just turn on the AC on. Ooh. Just turn the temperature down to about there. Traditional vents, of course, in the car. I apologize for the noise. I just want to open this up and just have some fun again. Yeah, there it is right there. Okay, sorry about the noise. If you're getting a little bit of wind, I apologize for that. But yeah, I definitely feel air coming out in this area, and it's cold. So, I don't know. Just caught me by surprise. I thought that's kind of an ingenious little thing. All right, let's turn this off. The GM has this thing with the capacitive touch buttons. I don't know. Again, I felt that it was a little overwhelming when I first got in the car. The other thing too, of course, this is a rental car, so it smells like a hotel. You know, that strong disinfectant smell. Of course, as a rental, they have to clean the cars. And there's a little bit of an undertone of like cigarette smoke. I can't quite make it out. Anyways, it's just enough to turn me off. Child locks or something? I can't seem to open up these doors. There we go. Fair amount of room back here. Matter of fact, if I sit in this car, I've got tons of room. I have my seat set to the way I drive, and I have long legs. And you can see here, there's tons of room back here. So for passengers, this is a comfy little environment. There's no sunroof in this car. You do have, the armrest that pulls down for passengers. There's a ski pass-through. There's a lock on the back of this. I'll show it to you here in a second. You can't open it right now, so you can't get in the back. But it does have this little hidden compartment for storing little things. It's all locked in there. So you've got this little place to put stuff. I mean, nothing for a laptop, but you can put a couple of cell phones in there maybe. And then over here you've got cup holders. Watch this. Whoop, there you go, 2 cup holders. So the whole thing just kind of slides out. It's fairly sturdy. It's a lot more sturdy than the cup holders I find in the Model X, but kind of a neat, ingenious system where it just kind of folds in like that. There's 2 adjustable headrests here for passengers. So the seats do fold down 60-40, and they go down flat. There's that lock I was telling you about. Interesting about this trunk, because there's a double tap, and it opens up. Now it's not motorized, it's spring loaded, because if I press it twice, you can hear it click, but it doesn't come back down. So you got to pull it down. So those of you who are complaining about a Model 3 not having a powered trunk, well, you're not the only people. So there's a spare tire under here. Yeah, it's the usual donut. No, that's just access electrical. Oh, there's a fuse panel. See that? It's a fuse panel in the back. Now I have the seat down. So I find with this car that the deck lid on this car is quite a bit lower than a Model 3, so it doesn't have quite as much room in there. Of course, you don't have that spot down and underneath. So for cargo space, this car certainly is a lot less than a Model 3. The one thing that I noticed about this car is that when I put it in reverse, there is no backup camera on this car. Who would buy a car today that didn't have a backup camera? You do have the parking sensors, and they're very basic. You just get a beep. Not much in terms of display like a heat map like a Tesla does, but you do have these little things in the back. But yeah, if you're spending this kind of money, like no backup camera, come on. Some interesting bits here on some of the seals. Like Tesla has interesting seals, but this is kind of weird. It's got this little pocket in here. Tesla likes to use a lot of adhesives to hold their seals on. I don't know what these guys are doing. Hard to tell. Looks like it tucks in some of the metal. I think the chrome deleters can rejoice, because there's a fair amount of chrome that you guys can cover up if you're into that kind of thing. Oh, I'm struggling with these doors. Let's see if we can take a look at the hood. There is a button here in the door to open the back trunk, so at least you can get it that way. Let's take a look under this bad boy. Oh yes, the old, where is that thing? I can't find it. Button. You guys have Cadillacs are laughing at me right now, aren't you? Push the logo? Yeah, I found it. There's a lever here you have to pull. Duh. You have a V6 direct injection engine. Apparently it's rated at about 300 horsepower. Don't quote me on that. It's on the website. But, you know, compared to driving an electric car, man, this thing takes a lot of finagling to get it to get any kind of power band out of the thing. Found the transmission to be a little bit rough. So when you hit the acceleration, it would just drop into gear quite suddenly. But that's what you get. I mean, you know, gas engines suffer from that. They only have a power band at a very small RPM level, so that's why you have things like transmissions. As for the looks of the car, well, everything is subjective. Nothing remarkable as far as I'm concerned. Looks a little blocky for my taste. It's not very sporty. But hey, everybody has a design language, right? So you can't fault anybody for that kind of thing. So there's an SMS system. I was able to pair my phone to this car very easily. The climate controls don't work unless the power's car. Okay, power's on. Navigation system, not built into this car. You gotta call OnStar. Yeah, it would take me some time to hunt around on this. Yeah, it's making this clicky, you know, this haptic feedback thing, which, you know, I understand for some people you need that.
Say call followed by the number or contact name.
Okay, thank you very much.
Speech session ended.
We've got some vanity lights in there, nothing spectacular. Let's see here, does it extend? Oh yeah, good, it extends. All right, that's nice to see. And you've got your buttons up here, 1, 2, 3. So maybe that's where the seat memories are. Oh no, I know what that is. Duh. That's the that's your home link there for your garage door opener. See how quickly we forget sometimes. Let's take a look at the seat situation. So we have up and then down, forward, back. Again, this is a very informal car review. It's nothing. I'm not trying to shame anything. I'm just curious to see what this car is doing. The seats look like they're very, very dark chocolate brown. Actually, they remind me of the color of the seats that I had in my Lincoln before I got my Tesla. Not bad. Not bad. Perforations in here. Perforations down here in the bottom. Of course, when I turned on the ventilated seats, I could feel it immediately. Didn't feel cold, but I just felt the air coming through. Well, there you go. A quick impromptu revision of the Cadillac XTS. Like I said, it's not a fair comparison to a Tesla. That's not the point. I just thought as a Tesla driver that has to deal with this car for 24 hours or so, I figured I'd take the opportunity to give you my thoughts after driving an electric car. Would I buy this? No, it's not my thing. But, you know, for people that like this kind of thing, I guess it's an okay car. We all know by now, once you go electric, you just don't want to go back to anything else. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon. See you guys.